Fresh, spicy, zingy, wearable, but a little bit exotic and definitely with its own character. This is a scent for you if you want to stand out from the crowd. It's Hatkora Wood by Ajmal. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Scent Review. So it's going to be 2014's Hatkora Wood by the house of Ajmal. Yeah, I'm 11 years late to this. I'm just getting around to reviewing it now. Great fragrance. It's from the W series of Ajmal, which in my opinion, absolutely one of the greatest fragrance lines ever released. Unfortunately, in the part of the world in which I live, Europe, and in North America, the West in general, this house, Ajmal, just doesn't get nearly as much attention as it deserves. Fantastic house, fantastic line. So this here is part of the W line, like I just mentioned, and this is kind of like the Freshie, the everyday kind of casual, I guess you could say, member of that line. A lot of the other members tend to go darker, definitely more exotic, animalic, and forceful, you know, for lack of a better description. This one here, though, keeps things a little bit lighter, not in terms of performance or anything. I just mean in terms of like wearability and maybe like that dumb reach factor in a way, but I'll go a little bit more into depth about the versatility later on in this video. So the scent here is based around the Hatkora lemon, which is a type of lemon. It's native to the Assam region of India and also parts of Bangladesh. It has a very distinctive scent to it, the Hatkora lemon, which I will go a little bit more into depth on later in this review. But if I could just put it simply, it's like a really bitter but juicy lemon with kind of like a funkiness to it. It kind of almost smells like a lemon that's been laying on your countertop for a few days, which might sound unpleasant to you, but honestly, it's really, really nice. And especially the way it's incorporated in this fragrance here, oof, it really works. So briefly going over the presentation here, this is, like I said, from the W line of Ajmal. They have these really fancy, exquisite looking boxes here. Tops come off, and then we have this kind of like the bottom part here. On the inside, there's an inlay with, it's lined with felt, and there's foam underneath it. Very soft inlay for the actual bottle to sit in. On the bottom of the box, we have this information. And the actual main parts of the box here, the top part, rock solid. I'm not sure if they're made with wood or plastic, but on the outside, they kind of have this leather-like finish. I'm sure it's plastic, but it's designed to feel like leather. And yeah, boxes, heavy duty, top quality, some of the best in the game. And the bottle itself now, I'm kind of certain it's made to look like a mineral or a gemstone. We have this shape here, and on top, yeah, it looks like there's a gem kind of affixed to the top of the cap here. Cap comes off, quite heavy the cap is, and on the inside you can see it's lined with metal. On the outside, it's a very smooth, I'm not sure if it's ceramic or plastic, and the bottle itself here made of a very, very thick, heavy glass. Super good quality bottles. But now let's get to the most important part, and it's, how does this smell? Oh, by the way, really strong atomizer, great distribution, great strength. Oof, it's everything about this bottle, everything about the presentation, just top notch. But how does this actually smell? So in the opening, I get a lot of Hatkora and peach. So this opens up very bitter, very citrusy, but at the same time, it's also juicy and rindy. It almost, like I said, has a kind of a, I don't know, rotten, semi-rotten, rotting lemon characteristic, which, like I said, might sound unpleasant to some people, but I promise you in this fragrance, it really works. Although if you're like totally new to perfumery, the opening might be a little strong for you, so just keep that in mind as well. But I promise you, overall, it's a very pleasant fragrance. That Hatkora met with some peach in the opening here. The peach is going to give it a fruity sweetness. It's not a cloying sweetness. It's a peach. So peach is a stone fruit, and I get like almost a mineralic kind of characteristic that goes along with this fruitiness. It almost kind of smells like a wet stone mixed with fruit, which in my opinion keeps the peach fruitiness quite fresh. It's very refreshing, albeit a little bit jarring, perhaps opening. Really interesting. Never smelled anything like it in my life. So in the mid, we get a lot of saffron and ginger. So in the mid, the spice that this fragrance has really starts to wake up. So the saffron, very earthy spice. It's a very kind of sweet in a way, but also a little bit bitter. Earthy is what comes to mind most of all. I don't really get much of a leathery nuance, which saffron a lot of times can smell like leather. I don't really get that very much in this at all. It's more so that dry, earthy spice, and it is definitely prominent. We also get some ginger, which it's going to lend its citrusy, zingy, spicy, and sweet characteristics as well. And these mid parts, the spices and the zingy ginger mixed with those fruits in the top combines to give this just a very interesting, spicy, fruity smell that honestly, I don't think I've smelled before in perfumery. It's just so interesting. In the dry down, it starts to get a little bit darker. So there's a lot of musk and sandalwood. I also get a little bit of guaiac wood. So the musk is ever so slightly sharp. It has that kind of fluffy characteristic, maybe reminiscent of the smell of like animal fur. So not dirty or anything, but it has an animalic bite to it, a very, very slight animalic bite to it. But I get a lot of sandalwood in the dry down. So it's a very smooth, creamy sandalwood. But the sandalwood in this also gives a definite powdery characteristic. In the dry down, I do get some powder. Also, that combination of musk, sandalwood, and citruses give this kind of a soapy feeling in the dry down as well. This finishes off way far down into the dry down. I think it's guaiac wood, maybe olibanum, maybe guaiac wood. I say that because it has kind of like that burnt wood, guaiac wood characteristic. But a lot of times, olibanum can also give that kind of same scent. So I don't really know whether it's guaiac wood or olibanum or something else that smells similar. But that's kind of what you get in the dry down. It's a little bit of a burnt, charred wood, maybe slightly smoky, slightly incensey. But all in all, I don't think this is a smoky fragrance. That olibanum / guaiac wood characteristic is in the far dry down, and it's a little bit faint. It never dominates anything else. Really well blended. So all in all, if I had to just classify this fragrance very simply, it would be citrus, spicy, woody, and musky. Also, like I said, some soapy characteristics, maybe some powdery characteristics as well. All in all, this is a super interesting fragrance. But I know there are a lot of you, probably especially in the Western world, you'll be watching this and you'll be wondering, well, what could I compare this to? And honestly, this is really unique. This does not smell exactly like anything else out there. But if I really think hard about this, I would compare it to maybe 3 different fragrances. So in the opening, that Hatkora lemon really reminds me of Kaffir lime, which reminds me of Chypre Siam by Rogue Perfumery. So in the opening, like for the first 10 minutes, I do get reminders of Chypre Siam, but those similarities disappear completely after about 10 minutes. Now, for the remainder of the lifespan of this fragrance here, again, I can't stress enough the uniqueness of this. This is really its own thing. But I guess if I really sit and think about it and I draw some comparisons, I get some similarities to Bergamasque by Nascimato. Sorry, Bergamasque by Orto Parisi, because that fragrance is very heavy on the citrus, bergamot in that case, and it dries down with a lot of sandalwood and some musk. I get some similarities. They're not the same fragrance at all, but like this does have that citrusy characteristic. It has the sandalwood as well, and some spices, definitely a lot of musk in this one here as well. So there's that, and I also get, like, if I wear this on all day and I just kind of catch whiffs of it throughout the day as I'm moving around, as my skin is heating up, as the smell projects harder and harder, I kind of maybe get a vague Dior Sauvage kind of thing. Although, like I said, this doesn't smell like Dior Sauvage. It's just certain components remind me of certain components of Dior Sauvage. So to put it really simply, mostly, if I absolutely was forced, gun to my head, to compare this to another fragrance, it would kind of be like a mixture of Bergamasque and Dior Sauvage, again with that similarity to Chypre Siam, only in the beginning. So getting onto the versatility and performance here. The versatility is high. I think it's quite a versatile fragrance if you have a little bit of a daring side to you. Now, this won't offend anybody in the street, I don't think. I've always received positive attention. But, you know, in terms of the wearer themselves, it's unique. There's no Western fragrance. Like if you go to a random perfumery and smell all the fragrances, you will find nothing that's close to this. So for that reason, the smell itself, at least in the Western world, not common. But at the same time, I'm not saying it's offensive. I'm just saying if the only exposure you've had is to like Western designers, it might be a little bit exotic for your tastes at first, but I also feel like if you spend a few days with this, it'll really grow on you. It's really a fantastic scent, albeit a little bit, or rather very out of the ordinary for what a lot of people are used to. I think it leans a little bit more on the casual side of things. Maybe if there was some, I don't know, it's more casual than formal to my nose, definitely. A little bit of a kind of like bad boy character to it as well. I would consider wearing this in like, I don't know, leather jacket, ripped jeans or something like that. I don't know, maybe a white t-shirt and jeans as well, I think would work also. Going out, social situations, maybe like outdoor social situations where there's gonna be a lot of people. Wouldn't really consider this one for a date. It's a little bit daring, I think, for a date scenario. But then again, I also think this could be applied to everyday usage. Like I said, it's mostly about you, the wearer. Like I said, I don't think this is going to offend anybody. It doesn't have anything overtly offensive. It's different from what a lot of people are used to, especially in the West. The performance is not beast mode, but I will say it is quite good. Total longevity, I get 7-8 hours on my skin. Also, the projection is good, moderate to strong for the first hour and a half. Never goes beyond an arm's length. But like I said, if you move around during the day, you'll definitely catch whiffs of this. So like you still smell like it, even though you might not think so. Other people will smell this on you, so don't worry about that. Also, I forgot to mention, I think in terms of seasonality, fall, summer, there's a little bit of a darkness to it. Although it has that uplifting citrus, there's also like a spice, and the dark Drydown really makes it appropriate for, I'll say, summer nights and fall in general. You can wear this in the high heat also if you would like. Just for me personally, I think it really excels in the fall and during summer nights. The next important factor to consider is the price. The price of this one, reasonable. So you can get this in North America. I checked Fragrance Buy. They have this 100 milliliter bottle for like $73 US. That's an absolute steal. If this sounds interesting to you, you should go pick that up, because I'll tell you, this is just better quality than most designers that you can find in the West. And at that price, 73 US for a 100 milliliter bottle, you're getting a much better value. So yeah, I'll leave that up to your discretion, but that's my opinion. Here in the European Union, it runs between 75 euros and 100 euros for the same volume. So what Ajmal has essentially done here is given us a niche quality product, and it is available to us at very reasonable prices. Like if you're into things like, I don't know, Bergamasque and maybe Dior Sauvage, you like something that's in the same galaxy as those two, but still with its own absolutely unique DNA, and you're just kind of tired of all the designers, you've been there, done that. This is really different. I highly recommend checking this out if that describes you and your current situation. Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around this long. Are you a fan of Hatkora wood? Do you know it? I mean, it's kind of under the radar. I have seen a few other reviews of this, but yeah, still, it's not hyped at all. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Hatkora wood? What are your thoughts on Ajmal in general? Let's get the conversation going. Gonna take off for now, guys, but until next time, keep it real.